Hello, and welcome to Hartsville Church of Christ 5 by 5 segment. This is where we present 5 points in about 5 minutes. As many of you know, our theme for this year is Love This Church, with a focus on unity and togetherness. Our thoughts today center around this. It's very difficult to have unity and togetherness when we don't worship together. That reality came to light when we were forced to distance ourselves during this COVID situation that we had not too long ago. But now that that situation is better, let me encourage you to think seriously about your attendance in worship services. I'm going to mention 5 things that point out how important it is to assemble together as much as possible for worship. First, it is commanded. It's obvious in the New Testament scripture that Jesus and the apostles expected the early church to meet together. The Greek word that's used in the New Testament for church is ekklesia, and it actually means the assembly. Also, in John 18:20, we read that Jesus said, I always taught where all the Jews came together. So assembly was important to Jesus. Then we have Paul's first letter to the Corinthians. It's mostly about how they are to conduct themselves when they come together for worship. Then, of course, we have Hebrews 10:25, which talks of forsaking the assembly. So, yes, worshiping together is commanded in the scripture. But secondly, is we need you. Worshiping together completes us. Without you, we are just not as strong as we should be. In Ecclesiastes 4, it talks about the strength there is in numbers. It says that a three binding cord is not easily broken. And that's the same way with us. We can't be as strong as we can be if we're not all united in worshiping together. Many verses in Scripture refer to the church as an army, or as a body, or as a group of workers accomplishing a task. And we can't do this without participation. We can't adequately fulfill our mission if we don't have people who are willing to participate and work together. We need you to assemble so that we can be a complete and a whole unit working together. Then the next point is we need to worship together because of the encouragement that we get. The encouragement that we get from meeting together works both ways. Your presence encourages others as well as their presence encourages you. Living in the world today with all our troubles and problems is tough, especially when you feel alone. When we worship together, it enforces the fact that we are not alone. In fact, it helps us realize that God is on our side. When we worship together, we promote the realization that God is working in our lives. It also helps us realize that there are others who have been or either are in the same situations that we're dealing with. And we are not alone. We do not have to face these things by ourselves. We should worship together for the encouragement that it gives us. Then we should also worship together for the instruction and educational value that it affords us. Our worship together promotes a greater understanding of the scriptures. The lessons presented, the sermons preached, and even the songs that we sing help us with a greater understanding of how God works in our lives. We work hard to make our worship informative and educational so that we can all grow in our spiritual walk. Your regular attendance will help you gain a greater understanding of what God's will is and what his plan is for your life. And then finally, we need to worship together because of the family relationships that it promotes. Worshiping together makes us part of the family of God. It's a part of our human nature to desire to be part of a family unit. Many are not blessed with a close physical family, but even those who have family benefit from worshiping with God, with the family of God. It brings us closer to each other. We even refer to each other as brothers and sisters because of the relationships that we develop. Worshiping together fulfills our basic human need for being part of a family, and what a family it is. With God as our Father and our brothers and sisters, we can be unstoppable. So let's recap. We need to worship together because it's commanded. We need to worship together because we need you. We need to worship together for the encouragement that it gives us. And we need to worship together because of the education of value that it affords us. And we need to worship together because it's a part of the family of God. So let me encourage you to assemble with us for worship as much as you possibly can. And I know that it will enrich your life and bring us all closer together. Thank you.